James Caan told me at the end of filming Elf that he had been waiting through the whole film for me to be funny, and I never was. If you are going to wrestle a bear, try to stay away from all fish oil products, you know. I mean, it's tough for me, because I love to rub myself with salmon oil every day. It's a great conditioner for the hair, skin. I'm a selective pack rat. There's some things I have no problem getting rid of and others I hold onto dearly. I know the nature of comedy, and you never know what will happen with the next movie or whether people will find it funny. I did plenty of jobs that I hated. I was a bank teller and terrible at it. I parked cars, a valet. I answered phones. I somehow avoided being a waiter. I knew I wouldn't be able to keep the order straight. I'm not much of a multitasker. I've always had, when I needed it, an extreme amount of focus that I could put into something. That has served me well. When you look at someone like Sacha Baron Cohen, you have to really respect the boundaries he is pushing as Bruno or Borat. You still have that competitive thing where you want to try to make hits. That won't go away unless the mayor of show business says my time's up. I hate when someone drives my car and resets all the radio presets. I don't understand it. If I was ever driving someone's car, I would never touch the things that were set. Oftentimes, even as a little kid, I would get up before anyone else. My brother would still be sleeping, my mom would still be sleeping, so I would literally play Monopoly by myself. I would play board games, I would do things by myself. I've got no dark secrets, I wasn't beaten up, my parents were kind to me, and there was a low crime rate where we lived. Maybe that's where the comedy comes from, as some sort of reaction to the safe, boring suburbs. When you hear that you're going to be working with a first-time director, sometimes that can be a concern to people. Will Ferrell. When I was 10, I wrote an essay on what I would be when I grew up and said I would be a professional soccer player and a comedian in off-season. I left home to go to college, and then I moved back home. I moved back for 3 years from 21 to 24. When I was a kid, Land of the Lost was my favorite show, just because it was, in the landscape of Saturday morning cartoons. It was so unique. It was a live-action show and kids were in it, these creatures, these Sleestaks and dinosaurs. Every week was a different adventure. I couldn't wait. I loved it so much. I've had moments in my life when I've thought if I wasn't acting, if I wasn't doing what I do and I had a career in the private sector and I didn't have a family, that I do have some tendencies where I could really kind of have a monastic existence and be okay with it. Saturday Night Live is such a comedy boot camp in a way, because you get to work with so many different people who come in to host the show and you get thrown into so many situations, and learn how to think on your feet, so filmmaking actually feels slow in a good way. All you have in comedy, in general, is just going with your instincts. You can only hope that other people think that what you think is funny is funny. I don't have an answer, but I just try to plow straight ahead.